already see a guaranteed ban on Crystal Temple. There's some thoughts going around what the next ban is going to be, but they want to get Crystal Temple out of there real quick.
Yeah, and we've already seen Wesley kind of do work earlier today, right? He was the player to watch out for when we were casting a little bit earlier, and I'm still definitely have my eyes on him. It looks like in the winners semis, I did actually end up going up against Balthazar and Fiend and losing 3-1, so it looks like they want to go ahead, try to get some momentum and get a second shot, potentially, assuming they win the winners finals, but they may not. But here we go, loading up into game one of loser semifinals. Wesley and Power Ranger gonna go ahead and fight DB and Leit.
We're going to go to the dome. The first weapon spawns go to the opposite team. Red team got blue team spawn. Blue team got red team spawn. Everybody has a weapon except for poor little DB here. Finally gets down to those blasters about 15 seconds into the game. Red team taking just a little bit more damage as we start here. That charged up recovery hitting legit. He's taking a lot of damage early on in this game. He is defense stance Zol, so he can take a little bit more punishment, but that almost knocked him out. If that would have been the other way, that would have been a knockout for sure. Already taking sig damage. Dying to the side air. Gravity cancel down signature from Wesley. He's already starting this off feeling very confident here. Getting that knockout in around 35 seconds. Confident enough to throw out that gravity cancel down signature on the Lance for Ulgrim.
Yeah, the moment you start throwing that out, you feel like you have a good read on your opponent's movement. Now, granted, there you get a little bit of a refresh. Power Ranger still has his first stock, though, so he's going to try to hang on to that for as long as possible. But so far, I mean, it's looking pretty decent for the blue team here. Power Ranger doing such a good job of extending his stock's longevity.
Ooh, Wesley taking some punishment. Over on the side, you see Power Ranger rotating over. Wesley still surviving. He's taking a lot of damage here, getting really close to red on his second stock. And this just completely turned from blue team favored to red team favored. Power Ranger, as he was taking more damage, obviously he's going to get knocked further and further away. Even if it didn't lead to a knockout straight away, that gave the red team time to rotate over and put out pressure onto Wesley, completely deleting that second stock. And now Power Ranger knocked out, final stock. Wesley, final stock. This is a rough spot for the blue team. You started off maybe having this.
It happened so quick. Power Ranger had 3 stocks not that long ago, and all of a sudden he's gone. DB just going and giving an SD to the Make-A-Wish Foundation there. So now we have a completely even game stock-wise. Slight advantage to the red team in terms of damage, but this could really go either way here. I'm going to see which team comes out on top. Nice punish on the hit there from Power Ranger. Wants to make sure his teammate isn't just taking hits without punishing the aggressor there.
And game one is already showing us how volatile this top 4 can be. Here, early on in this set, it's been going back and forth. Started off blue team favorite, then went red team favorite, then kind of equalized. Now going back to red team's favor. You see that big recovery coming in. Side air from Wesley, deciding whether he wants to put the pressure on the DB or go back to Legit. In the meantime, Legit takes out Power Ranger. Wesley naring right on top, stacked on top of Legit. Doesn't have a hitbox there. Definitely winnable. Big side air. Weapon toss almost takes out DB.
Wow.
Big ground pound going in for Wesley. Not afraid to go off stage. Earn those recoveries early. Ooh, a little bit of team damage coming out. Neutral light disarms Wesley. Sends him over to the right.
Oh man, he's looking for that unarmed recovery. He can't get it though. I think being stripped of his weapon there really made that comeback so much more difficult for him. I think if he still had the rocket lance, that might have been a little bit more possible for him to make that comeback. He was close though. I mean, he got unarmed recoveries onto the wrong member. He just needed to get that Barraza out of the picture. But man, what a turnaround, right? We felt like Wesley and Power Ranger, they had a pretty hefty lead there. But for whatever reason, I guess they really collapsed on Power Ranger for a second there.
Yeah, that game really came down to what Power Ranger was able to do in the very limited amount of time that he was in the game. He put out in the 200s of damage. I think it was like 208. Meanwhile, on the other side, we did see, I think it was Legit maybe doing 600 damage. Wesley did 600 damage, and then DB did like a high 300. So that high 300 it's a solid amount of damage. You're not going to admonish him for it. You're not going to praise him for it. But he also had a member of his team doing 600 damage. Meanwhile, Power Ranger stuck in the low 200s. That puts blue team in such a rough spot, especially with how early they came out with that lead, and then it just got turned on and Power Ranger got bullied. See him going for that Huge read with the gravity cancel side signature. Wesley sent far. Power Ranger trying to rotate over, at least trade 1 for 1. DB saves his recovery, gets back. Recovery from Power Ranger sends high.
There we go, resetting once again, man. I mean, take a look. Oh wow, he actually got the unfortunate team KO there, but that means he had so much damage there, dying to the neutral air from the cannon. Beautiful gravity cancel from Wesley, hitting both members of the red team. We're playing off stage. He's trying to get the jumps, manages to dodge through the ground pound. DB is looking. He is fishing for a KO, but blue team making it so difficult here. Somehow, Legit has all 3 stocks despite playing Zool, a low defense legend, and that is not a good look for the blue team. He's getting way too much damage out.
Neutral light from Power Ranger all the way from the wrong side of the stage means Legit is still alive. That side air from DB, even though that might have been a team knockout, is from the wrong side of the stage again, allowing Legit to survive, and they're adding up this damage onto Wesley. Nice big side air hitting both members of the red team. Another one, and a side air from Power Ranger to boot.
Not quite enough to KO here. They're pushing forward. Wesley throwing out these neutralites, going for these jump recoveries, trying to get his hits in. If you can take out DB right now, who is very damaged, it'll be a very good look for the blue team here, as Legit is set to the yellow, but if he extends his stock the same way he was able to last time, not going to be a good look for Team Red. There we go. DB finally goes down. Wesley getting some damage on the Legit. Definitely needs to get out of there. And wow, Legit turns it around with the neutral air. This is a neck-and-neck game, Sparky.
We're pretty even, but it's just like you said, Legit survivability here is keeping the red team pretty solidly in the lead. He's putting out that damage. We are seeing some team damage going on to DB. We have seen some friendly knockouts accidentally going on to DB, but Legit is still also making up for that by playing really well, putting out damage, putting himself in good positioning so he doesn't get knocked out by moves. And now there are 2 axes on the field for the red team. They're looking for this knockout onto Power Ranger, but the blue team is not only looking to get Legit off of this second stock, but they're getting really close to KO damage to take out DB from the game.
And there we go. The last stocks has been summoned for Power Ranger. Legit still has 2, but Doritos boy DB so close to being KO'd there. You can see Power Ranger looking for the final blow. They want that 2v1 as soon as possible, as Wesley can't hang on much longer. Manages to pick up a KO there, and Legit messes up the sidelight jump recovery. That could be costly.
All right, I don't know if this is a dumb question or not, but is sidelight instinct true? I swear that it's not.
Not at all.
We've seen multiple people do that when a sidelight recovery is an option. There has to be a reason why they're going for that.
It's the fat finger, dude, because you press spacebar and the heavy button like at the same time. If you get the timing just wrong, you'll end up getting an end sig instead of the jump recovery.
Man. Because it is quick. After that sidelight, you have to react very quickly or input very quickly. Nice ground pound from Wesley. Oh, that's 2 axes from the blue team, and that can happen if you're not careful. And now the blue team is behind. Power Ranger has so much damage built up on this stock. Legit is in a really good place here. That went 100% his way as Power Ranger came in trying to double edge guard with 2 axes. It'd be so dangerous on the side. GCD6.
I thought he was going to do it too. I thought he was going to do it.
So good on the edge. And again, Legit 590 damage. Took almost as much. Holy cow. DB taking 665 damage. So big numbers coming up from the red team, keeping themselves definitely in the lead here. They're now up 2-0 in this best of 5 set. Looking like they might just cruise on through losers semis into losers finals.
Man, he done goofed, bro. Oh, man, you can't, like, KO your teammate, then lose the 1v1. There's just, like, so much amount of feel bad that happens in that moment. I hope he's not too tilted from that as we go right back into Game 2 in Miami Dome. Coming out swinging, definitely going to try to make sure Legit doesn't survive as long. I mean, look at all the damage. DB already in the red, and he's Miraza. That means he's gotten hit quite a few times here. This is a great start for the blue team despite kind of a, I guess what I'll call a sad ending to that last game.
I think Power Ranger needs to use that GCD sig. If he hasn't really made that a part of his playstyle, he needs to make it a part of his playstyle. If you're going to play Rayman, that's such an effective tool that you have in your kit. That is one of the reasons you play Rayman, is for GCD sig, using it on the edge. It's so deadly.
And it's so fast too, right? Like, not only is the angle like unforgiving. Just the speed in which it comes out can be very devastating. Definitely a missed opportunity. We're going to see if we can be able to maybe get something going this time around, though, as the blue team is looking a little bit refurbished, but maybe not refurbished enough, as Legit, once again, has 3 stocks on that cannon. They're just having a tough time hitting him finally.
They're trying so hard to knock him out, and he just won't die. That picked up Wesley. I think DB was all but dead. There's Power Ranger coming in with the axe recovery on his Rayman to add a knockout to his list. Recovery for Power Ranger to get back to the main platform. Legit's able to get back up. It is in favor of the blue team, but we know how quickly damage can be added up. Wesley might be knocked out here soon. DB finds a beautiful dare. The weapon toss is going to interrupt that recovery, and that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Man, Power Ranger just got duffed there, and he's gone. He won't have enough to make it back. That was a perfect sequence from the red team there to completely remove Power Ranger stock there. Got hit at least like 5 or 6 times before getting sent off stage with very few options at his disposal. They covered the one option that he did have, and boom, now we have the blue team in once again a precarious scenario. They need to focus DB heavy or find a way to hit Legit, man.
We have Wesley's axe on the field. He's looking for this knockout onto Legit. You see him hunting for that side air, hunting for that recovery, hunting for a knockout move. There's one. Even with sort of the bounce off the platform to take away some of the momentum, they were able to knock him out. Power Ranger going on a DB on the edge. In comes Legit. Wesley initially moved over to put pressure on Legit. Legit ran right past him, came to relieve some of the pressure that they put on DB.
This is the race.
Dude, it's so even. It's 2-0 in this set. Power Ranger and Wesley might be able to take this here. It's definitely winnable for Legit. Oh, what's going to happen? See, they don't double edge guard him there. They knew what happened last time. Oh, the neutral signature. One of the rare times I ever see that neutral signature used. The weapon toss from Power Ranger and the gravity cancel side sig. Riding that axe like a skateboard just for good measure, and a much better game for the blue team.
Yeah, that was... man, these games are going quick, but they are stressful. I mean, especially you have these scenarios where you're just like, man, I got to get rid of their player before they get rid of mine because we can't do the 2v1. And even the 2v1 is stressful because you've taken so much damage and you don't... There's almost like a lack of trust, in the sense that, like, it gets to the point where you have so much damage, and normally you both would be covering different options off the ledge, but you're like, man, I don't want the possibility of friendly fire to ruin it.
Now we're going to Enigma. We'll see if those platforms kind of concentrate everything towards the middle, because we might see more of that friendly fire like you were just talking about, or that might serve as like a wall. Some people are going to play high, some people are going to play low. There'll be a sort of a separation between the right side and the left side. DB going for the big move, gravity cancel neutral signature on the edge, misses. DB super low. So many things are happening. Is Legit going to get the full team wipe here? Power Ranger going all the way under, had the dodge to get back up. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. We're dead even here in game 4.
Okay, and Wesley's hanging on, throwing out that chair a little bit. Legit once again with 3 stock, but so does Power Ranger at this point in the game, though. So at least they're keeping it even there. Nice end set. Wow, that sucks. That sucks. You catch the enemy in the end sig, but I guess it's just so active that Legit ended up running into it.
Now, Power Ranger is still holding on to this stock, and we see him doing some more work here, because it was game 1, I believe, that he held on to his stock really well in the beginning, but still later, when you looked at the numbers at the end, he only put out about 200 damage, so he's doing much better this game. He's taking the pros from his game 1 and eliminating the cons from his game 1, playing really well here. DB's on his final stock. Legit might be on final stock here in just a second as well. Wesley, also very damaged, gets the knockout before falling. See how long he's able to live with this stock. The longer this game goes on, it's better for the blue team. They're in a huge lead right now. Power Ranger coming in fresh on this stock. They have chances to put up huge damage onto the red team before Wesley's on his final stock. Charging that one up, the recovery just barely going to knock him off the top.
There we go. Nice little string coming out from Power Ranger. Let's see if he goes for some offstage play here. He does have the gauntlets. Tries to get that down air. It's not going to connect. DB gets some aggression onto Wesley. Wesley taking quite a few hits, and he doesn't have a rocket lance in hand. He's going to be using the axe Let me see if he swaps over soon, because I feel like it might be about the time. He's not doing super great in the axe. Just kind of there's 3 axes on the screen right now, man. It's tough when he's having a hard time hanging.
And that's going to be legit going out very early in this. DB with a beautiful neutral signature. That's going to take Wesley out. Now he's going to go in the 1v1 here. DB versus Power Ranger. Power Ranger with a huge lead. DB, a strong 1v1 player. Same thing goes for Power Ranger. DB's finding... Oh, man, the D-Light almost taken off the top. Grabs the gauntlets through his axe. Cleans that up. We're going to game 5. Somehow, Power Ranger and Wesley have tug-of-war fought their way back into this.
Okay. Well, I guess it is what it is, right? We got ourselves a push and pull. It's going crazy. I feel like... Where did they end up going? Was that Enigma?
Apocalypse.
I didn't see. It was Apocalypse? Okay.
We're going to Apocalypse. They wanted those static soft platforms to get out of there. We're going to a small stage with small walls. Still has that moving soft platform, but it's just one of them. Now, this would be a stage that I would not want to face a Lance on. I also wouldn't want to face axes on this stage either, just because it's so small.
Yeah, he's definitely a little claustrophobic here. Legit, he's doing a good job hanging here. I like that side. Oh wow, what trajectory for the ground pound to hit there. That's kind of one of the things I guess about axe ground pound. Just kind of depending on which point in the animation it connects would send you in a multitude of different trajectories. And that time it sent completely horizontal.
I say there for Wesley, charging up that recovery, going for the big read. Doesn't get punished for it, actually. Counter punishes DB. They get the knockout onto Legit, and it seems like they're bullying Legit out of these games really early. Even though DB is basically in knockout damage, Legit is the first one getting knocked out multiple times now. Power Ranger doesn't have any gauntlets for that in-air movement, but he's still able to recover high, get back. Wesley throwing out the D-Light, locking Legit in place. Doesn't give him the option to punish Power Ranger's return to the stage.
Oh, D-Light dash jump down air, one of the bread and butters for the gauntlet. Off stage, getting crazy. Oh!
Oh! Oh,
he didn't charge
Wesley!
it enough.
He overextended too much, didn't have the in-air movement economy to get back. He was so close to getting like an orange knockout multiple times. That ground pound was so close, but Legit was able to dodge right through it. Wesley's going to have to come back and put out some even more damage here. He's coming in fresh on his second stock, but falling there basically due to his own overextension. It's not going to give the blue team quite as much of a lead as they could have had.
Yeah, if he can get a sidelight recovery on a Legit right now, that'll be goodbye to his stock. He's to find it, gets a neutral light, that's going to send him off stage. He's so damaged now that any hit that Legit takes sends him flying. And sometimes you'll see people will just opt to just lose the stock so they don't get sent so far away from their partner every single time. But there we go, Wesley gets taken out. Power Ranger trying to find a way in. Beautiful, exhausted recovery. That was smart.
It was a great punish from DB as Wesley was charging that recovery to get back. DB was ready, waited for that hitbox to come all the way through, threw out his dare, punished Wesley, sent him straight down, and now it's in the favor of the red team. A little bit of the unarmed combo. I guess they didn't really have that one practiced because they went for multiple neutral airs one after the other so you could DI out of the third one. I guess they weren't ready for that. A lot of people probably don't have both players unarmed practice true combo.
Yeah, right, like that. I feel like most people, you know, they'll do their D-Light and a ground pound maybe, and then they're like, what do I do from here? But it's like Wesley and Power Ranger might be on the verge of making this happen here. The damage is being added up. Careful. Oh, die up there. Don't die up there. Don't play that game.
It's going to take a lot. For DB to get an unarmed knockout that high, it's going to take a lot. Everything's going to have to go right for DB, and a lot of things are going to have to go wrong for Power Ranger. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. If you're playing Rayman, that's what you love to see. Wesley and Power Ranger somehow fighting back in this set after a very weak first game, especially from Power Ranger coming in with 200 damage. They've now been able to fight back, and they take it 3-2 in Game 5. They're going to be moving on into losers finals. DB and Legit came out strong right out of the gate, but started to peter off a little bit, and they're going to be going home in 4th place.
And I feel like for Power Ranger there, he was like, all right, there was that moment in like, was it like game 2 where he could have gotten that gravity cancel D-Sig and he didn't do it and then he ended up losing. He was like, all right, I think I'm gonna do it. I think I've learned from my